Welcome back to Minds and Money London 2021. Alvaro Parelta with MiningIR, and I have with me Tim Coughlin of Royal Road. How are you enjoying this conference?
It's been great. A very busy day yesterday, a bit quieter today, which is kind of what we needed after a late night celebrating our ESG award last night. It's good. It's great to be back meeting people physically once again, face to face. Zoom's getting a little bit tiring towards the end of the year. So yeah, really enjoying it.
Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear? Hello. Yeah, hello. Yeah. Connecting to audio. I know it's so great to see the energy here, and the smiles has been absolutely amazing. Tim, tell us a little bit about the award you won last night. What's it all about, and why did you guys win it? We
won the Minds and Money ESG award. There was two ESG awards, one for explorers and developers, and the other one was for producers. So we won the Explorers and Developers Award last night, and that was hot on the tail of the Columbia Gold Symposium ESG award we won a couple of weeks ago. I think it's we never know. So I mean, it was a panel that provided us with the award, but I suspect it's got most to do with our social initiatives in Southern Colombia, particularly some of the deals we've done with indigenous communities down there. We are, as far as I know, still the only corporation in Colombia with an agreement with the ex-FARC guerrillas, so we're helping to reintegrate ex-combatants, and also I certainly know that in Colombia that was an award on the basis of our accelerator. So we have what's called the Royal Road Accelerator, which is essentially like microfinance for community business initiatives. We've got 5 of those, 5 of those projects underway right now. So I think that's kind of a unique component to what we do on the ESG side.
Well, we're going to get into Royal Roads a little deeper, but I have been to Colombia, and I've seen some of the rural communities, and this whole initiative, this social initiative that you guys are doing is so essential for these people to find their independence and to become self-sufficient.
Well, I mean, Colombia is one of those classic environments where power and wealth is centralized, and so the rural communities become separate, disenfranchised, marginalized, exactly. And so, that's how internal conflicts, evolve. And so, so it's. And I should say, in some of those communities, there's a complete lack of presence of the state, and so in many ways, we are. Well, I wouldn't say we're not the state, but we are there assisting on the education and the health side, and obviously on the side of employment and with the accelerator in terms of business investment. So yeah. Wow,
it's such a huge support to those rural communities. Tell us a little bit about Royal Roads.
So we're a traditional explorer. I don't think we're a project generator. I never quite know what that. Where that definition resides quite now, nowadays.
The boundaries shift.
Yeah, the boundaries have shifted. So we're taking projects, right through probably to sort of PEA stage if it's big enough. At that point, in fact, even our joint venture agreements are structured so that projects would be spin out in most cases on a 50-50 basis with a mining partner, and so our investors can stay with that project or decide whatever they want to do. And our job is to go back. Reinvest, proceeds and move projects up from discovery, from early stages of discovery through to development. If it's something too small or we think might be too small, we'll transact on it, and ideally we'd be financing ourselves entirely out of that process. We just consummated one of those deals in May of this year, so we banked $22.5 million US by spinning out a small gold skarn project, which was close to our partners' production facilities in Nicaragua, and so that we can focus on bigger things. And so there's 2 projects that we're drilling now that we think could get to that tier 1 category. One's called Caribe, which is a gold project with sort of a sulfide copper gold route to it that we're still trying to figure out. We've had plenty of plus 100 meter intersections into that, just recently 200 odd meters at 1.1 grams. So that's kind of looking good. And then we're also drilling a project called Guinta, which is in northern Colombia right now. We've had that for a while, and we've been messing around with it, drilling. It's a skarn, so it's a big alteration system. It's about 16 square kilometers. Not really being able to put it together. And then in this drilling campaign, we think we've finally hit the core of it, and so we'll be press releasing that the next month or so.
It's really exciting. It's such a challenging part to be in that early stage. The wild west of mining, or what people would probably normally think of as mining.
Yeah, and some of those environments. No, I mean, we're sort of used to it. That's where we've always sort of hung out.
And it sounds like Royal Roads has a playground that's Central America and South America.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, we wouldn't. It'd be odd for us to to step out of that environment. There's still plenty to do in that whole region, obviously. I was in Costa Rica recently. They look like they've got elections coming up next year. They're thinking about overhauling their take on mining, I suppose.
It's been very closed.
Yep, exactly. Panama seems to be pretty busy as well nowadays. So, yeah.
That's great. And for Royal Roads, in order to de-risk such a risky venture, tell me a little bit about the team and how that helps to bring down the level of risk.
Right. So the team is your traditional sort of group of exploration geologists, but a little bit different, I guess, than other companies in that we have quite a lot of ex-military guys. We have an advisory board which is comprised of ex-military / now security advisors who actually work with the Ministry of Defence here in the UK, or advise the Ministry of Defence and others. And we have the ex-combatants, so as I mentioned, so ex-guerrillas working with ex-Colombian military personnel, which is quite unique.
So changing their guns for
quite
a pick
heartwarming, actually, when you see them both
shovel.
across a table working together. So, geologists, risk security people, and a really committed and high-quality environment and social and governance team. Well, environment and social team. So that's headed up by a guy called Raul Farfan, who's the other executive director on the board, as well as I, and he comes with a very impressive CV. He's worked on environment and social in South America for the last 25, 30 odd years. So it's basically that sort of tripartite subdivision in terms of operations.
That's great. And in terms of, obviously you're not going to production, so in terms of runway, what does that look like financially? What do the investors need to know? And what are some of the coming catalysts that they may want to be aware of?
Right, so in terms of runway, we've got about 32 million Canadian in the bank. That most of that after that sale of from that sale of the Luna Roja skarn in Nicaragua. Ideally, we'd maintain, and there's a royalty with that as well, maintain our financial independence from the market by transacting on other assets. We'll see how that evolves. It depends on the asset. Obviously, our job is to look for big ore deposits, so if we're finding small ones, it's by accident. That's not what we're looking for. So, but if we do, then we'll transact on those. So that's in terms of catalysts. I guess there's news coming out from Guinta, from the drilling there, and a slow trickle from very slow laboratories of drill results coming from Nicaragua. So we've still got a lot to release from the drilling at Caribe.
Okay, and for the results on those, do you use local labs or do you?
They're all international certified labs. So I think in Colombia, ALS do the gold analyses in Colombia, but they send the base metals off to Canada. And in Nicaragua, it's Bureau Veritas. Everything goes to Canada. They have a prep lab there, and samples go all up to Canada.
Okay, well, sounds great. What else do the investors need to know, and where can they find more information about Royal Road?
I guess what they should, as well as the projects that are sort of current and advancing and in the news, take a good look at what the pipeline looks like. Next year is going to be a lot of drilling. There's a bunch of other projects that we're going to be drilling, exciting projects in Nicaragua. We've got a new discovery that we don't talk about much, but we'll talk more about that next year in Colombia. Not Guinta, there's a new project that we're working on, or two actually. So keep your eyes on the other projects, find the information, well, on the website obviously, but we're pretty busy on social media as well. And I noticed that it's mostly stakeholders on social media, not many investors apart from on Twitter. So I'd encourage people to, follow us on Facebook and certainly on LinkedIn.
All right, and which exchanges do you trade on?
We're on TSXV and also on Frankfurt.
Excellent. Europe and North America covered.
Yep.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of Minds and Money. Hope you get to see lots of friends you haven't seen in a long time. And we look forward to staying in touch.
Thanks, Alvaro. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.